Hey guys, it is me, Crystal Renee here, and today I have with me
Charles.
So, if you haven't seen the video leading up to this video live, Charles decided he wanted to learn about plant care. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, what made you decide that you wanted to learn about plant care today?
Well, all your planty friends and all of the planty events. I just think it's time that I learn how to be able to do it and help you to be able to take care of them. And I want to be able to be able to hold planty conversations with you guys.
Okay, so today I'm going to show you basically when bringing home a plant from the store and also how to propagate and take your own cutting and how to root that. So here we have today is a philodendron micans. I apologize if the lighting isn't too good. This is our first live and we're trying to get this together. But this is a philodendron micans. I'm going to try to get a little closer so you guys can see. She has velvety leaves. And when she comes in as a reddish color, and then she kind of converts to a dark velvety green. So I bought this plant a while back, and she's still in the same planter pot that I bought her in. Have not changed the soil or did anything, just brought her home, been watering her and keeping her in sunlight. And as you can see, she's bursting out the bottom. Let me see if I can get close so you can see that. She is coming out the bottom. Okay, so that means she is ready for a repot. And 9 times out of 10, when you purchase a plant from the store, she's probably gonna need a repot. But you don't want to bring it directly into your home and have her around other plants that are in your collection, because you want to be sure that she's pest free, of course, as well. Got that? So we already know that this plant is pest free and she's ready to go. So before repotting her, because I don't want her to go into shock or anything like that, we're going to take the cuttings. So this plant has long tendrils, as you can see. You see these? And at each section where there is a leaf, there is a node. Hey, D. Michael.
I'll assist you in bringing it over there.
Yeah, he's going to assist me with bringing it closer to y'all. So, I don't know if you can see those, but those are aerial roots. Not all plants are going to have that. Mine actually grew aerial roots. I don't know if that's a sign to say, hey, I'm trying to live, repot me. But I don't know, when you have aerial roots, I feel like you have a better chance of propagation. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a small node, maybe something like that. Nothing hanging, really. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I want a bushier plant, I'm going to have Charles cut this plant back. But first thing first, those are your shears that you're going to be cutting with. And before you get to cutting on your plants, you need to what?
Sterilize it.
Okay. So you're going to take the alcohol and you're going to take the towel. I rested on there, and then you're going to sterilize it with the alcohol. Be sure you got to open the bottle. Okay. Kind of open it up and get in between the blades. Clean really good, even the handles. Come over this way a little bit so they can see you. So you just get in there good, sterilize. You can use alcohol or hydroperoxide. Either one works.
Make sure I get it good. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming.
If you are here, please give us a like the live, And feel free to comment if you see us looking to the left or maybe your right. That means we're just looking at the screen where we have your comments posted. So if you want to ask us any questions, please feel free. If you can please let us know on the screen if you can see us in the comments or if you can even hear us. Give us a thumbs up so that way we can continue.
Can you guys hear us good?
Can anybody hear us?
I see it's 4 people in.
Okay. I'm not sure if you guys can hear us, but I'm going to continue. So, Charles, you're going to, I think I want to take this whole vine, so we're going to cut it from the bottom. Excuse the ice cream man outside. So, you see right here, like in between the 2 nodes there,
Okay.
you can take a cutting right then. Because there's a missing leaf there, you can cut right here, and that can be like your bottom piece for the next cutting or so. Awesome. So now you are left with this.
Sure.
And that's what you're gonna end up with.
Isn't she a beauty?
Okay, so now you can cut anywhere you would like to cut. For instance, if you want a longer piece, it would be best to cut this right here because there's so much space in between. It would be good to cut here. Or you can take single leaf cuttings and cut in between each node. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just make single node cuttings. So what I want you to do is I want you to cut in between each node like so. These are the nodes.
Okay.
And so cut in between them. And if it's a longer space, like one's missing here, you can always cut it here to give that an extra node, and you can put that piece in the water instead of this, if that makes sense. And if you have any questions, you can just ask me where you would like to cut it.
Okay, so the first one?
So the first
Right
one, yes. Okay.
Second one?
I will cut in between these two. Not too close. You want to give it a little space so that in case it does catch a little root rot, you have some space that you can afford to cut off, if that makes sense.
This one?
Don't cut the stem now. Be careful. No, you're about to cut the stem.
Okay, right here?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And then for the next one, you can cut it there. Okay. That's fine. You don't have to go too far. Just, yeah. Just go all the way down the vine. Now, be careful not to cut the aerial roots. These are aerial roots.
Yeah. I gotcha. I'm learning, y'all. All right.
Okay. So
I got you.
now, as you can see, he cut some of them pretty long. Now, we don't need all this extra, so you can cut off the excess probably to here. Okay, and just set that one to the side. So go down each one and kind of cut them a little bit closer so that it's not too much. You don't want it to take too much room in your pot that you're gonna put it in. You just keep going down the line and do it to each one and kind of, this one, remember we have this section, so you can just cut off this top piece a little bit. Okay, and just follow the same step with the next ones. Now don't cut up, be sure not to cut off the area root. I would just say go in a little closer on each side.
Okay.
Be careful not to cut this.
Gotcha. Okay. Same thing with just a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. We'll just sweep those up. Same with this one. Now this one you have to be careful because it does have a few aerial roots. So just cut there and there. We have an interruption. He's gonna, baby wants something to drink. So, as you can see, he's cutting each one and we're ending up with a single node, single leaf node like that. So each cutting has to have some stem and a node and a leaf to, you know, photosynthesize. Now if it doesn't have a leaf, you still can propagate these. You can pretty much just, what is it called? You can root the stem as well by putting in perlite or something, but we'll get to that some other time. But for now, he's just gonna do these leaf cuttings. I'm gonna help him along the way so we can get to the next part. So I was pretty much telling them that these are single leaf cuttings. Now, if it was just a stem with the node, you can still propagate that too, but there's a different way to go about that. But today we're just focusing on the single leaf cuttings.
Okay.
And these all look pretty good, cut pretty good. Okay, so now you're gonna take a jar of water, something like that. I typically use something clear, that way I can see the roots as they grow. And you don't want to get these leaves wet because they're velvety.
Okay.
You don't want to get them wet, but you're going to just kind of place them in the water and kind of hang the leaf over the side, but be sure that it's in the water. And you want to do that to each cutting. It's okay if you push them close to each other.
I'm putting this part in, y'all.
The node. That is what goes submerged under the water. Be sure that it's submerged in the water. Now, not all plants are finicky to where you can't wet the leaves. Just this particular plant, because if they have like fur or velvety leaves, you don't want to let that soak in water because it will just shrivel up and die. So try to keep the leaves outside the container that you're using. Okay. The aerial roots goes in the water for the most part. Let's try to.
Hello, all four of you. YouTube's a little different. I can't necessarily see who's who, but okay.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. I'm almost thinking we probably should put it in this one. Do you think? Or do you look okay in this one? Probably need to fill the water level up a little bit more.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, just, yeah, kind of turn it that way. Yeah. All right.
I did it, y'all. Alright.
You did it. Show the camera. We're gonna probably top it off with a little bit more water, but that is the finished look. And in about 2 weeks or so, he should get some real water roots that are ready to go into soil. And we will update you guys on these cuttings. So, I'm gonna do some myself. Because again, like I said, I want this plant to be more bushy than leggy. Which, what it is, it's pretty leggy right now. So I'm going to do the same as he did. I'm going to put this back to about here. See, when you get kind of used to it, you kind of already know where to cut. Okay. This little baby cut. I think I'm going to take one more cutting from here. About right there.
Hello.
So, do you have any questions right now at this time, Charles, about what we just did?
No.
So pretty straightforward.
Yep.
And the correct term for what we're doing is called propagating. So, I think I'm just gonna put some over in this one as well.
We have a lot of plants, y'all, so, you know, I need to learn how to be able to help her to be able to take care of these plants. I want to know about them.
So, do you remember what I said the name of this plant is?
No.
It's a philodendron micans.
Philodendron micans.
Yep. And the way to know that it's the micans is because
Lichen with an L or, you know?
micans with the
Micans.
M.
Okay.
Micans. And it has the velvety leaves.
Okay.
That's how you know the difference from the other philodendrons that trail. Which you'll learn about them in the near future. Okay, so I'm getting all these put into the water. Probably gonna have to top them off, which is fine.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Janine.
Could you let us know if you hear us? We'll put this one in there. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, because no one's confirmed that yet.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, she can hear us.
Okay.
If you can give the live a like as you enter the room, that will be greatly appreciated. So for those of you who are just now joining us, I just showed Charles how to pretty much take cuttings. I explained to him this is typically what a plant looks like when you bring it home from the grocery store. You want to check it for bugs, etc. And this plant has not been changed over since bringing it home. Just watered it. I probably should have waited to water it since we're going to be repotting this plant, because I did water this plant, but it's okay. So I just taught him how to take cuttings and propagate them in water, and we're just going to sit and wait for those to grow roots in about 2 weeks' time. So if you can see at the bottom, it's busting out there, so we are going to repot that. We forgot to put this little leaf in.
She said, when did we water it? We actually had a water in the glass, and we just put them off in there.
Oh, when did we water this plant?
Oh, okay.
I actually watered it, I want to say yesterday or the day before yesterday, but it's still wet. But it's not soaking wet, but it's okay. Because I'm going to still put it back into soil, so it should be fine. Now, if you were going to do hydroponics, that would be a different situation. So, now Charles, we are going to repot this plant. So, I don't have a bin or anything for the soil. We're just going to use this bag here. So, first thing first, I'm going to set this in here. And we have this planter as well. It's what we're going to put this plant in.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So when you have a plant that's like long and trailing, you want to try to keep it together and keep the leaves together in one hand if you can. And then try to angle it and squeeze around the pot to kind of loosen it up. So I'm going to let you do that. Be gentle with it. You don't want to be too rough to where you're pulling it. Just place your hand underneath like that. And then you can just remove it and try to get all the soil in here. So if you got roots at the bottom, is it coming? Okay, there you go. There you go. Now you see how root bound that is? You can kind of turn it towards the camera so they can see how root bound it is. Okay, you can just remove this. No, you put it over here. Okay, so you're gonna want to kind of just slightly tease the bottom of the roots. You don't want to mess with the roots too much, but kind of like, you see how they're wrapping around? You want to kind of tease them a little bit so that when you put them in the new soil, they grow down into it. So you can...
And show them too.
Kind of just like tease them a little bit. But if the soil was dry, it'll crumble. I would say squeeze it. But it's not going to work that way because the soil is wet.
Thank you, Janine.
And so now just work your way around, like removing it from the top with your fingers, like gently massaging it. And it's okay, your hands are going to get dirty, but that's why we have soap and water. And I'll kind of hold the leaves so they don't get too dirty.
Get up in there.
Yeah, you don't have to do too much. We can kind of keep it in the soil that it's in a little bit, but we could just tease it, most of it out for the most part. Okay.
Is it gonna get
You
all
see how I'm doing that? Like going in between it with my fingers, and it's kind of loosening up. That's all you have to do there. So it's coming on loose for the most part. And then let's get this back side here.
Hey, Janine, she's going to have me repotting and everything else now. It's going to become another one of my chores.
Yes, healthy roots. That's how I know she was ready for a new pot, because the roots look really healthy coming from the bottom, so she just needed a little bit more space to grow. Okay, so there, you don't have to really take too much.
Okay.
Now we're going to get the new soil that we're going to use,
Okay.
which is in this container underneath here. Okay, so here we have some chunky soil. And to make it a little less chunky, I'm just going to add some of the soil that was already in the pot that it came with. Just a little bit so that it's not so chunky. So in this soil, we have some perlite, pumice, horticultural charcoal. We have some lava rock, some cocoa husk, and a little bit of orchid soil. And I think that is it that we put in here. Oh, and a little bit of Osmocote. So that is what's in here. Be careful because it's a little dusty. Okay, so what we're going to do is, Charles, I want you to put a little layer, like a scoop, at the bottom of this planter. You always want to put a little bit of your medium at the bottom of the planter before putting your plant in. And do another layer. Okay, and because we're going to mix a little bit of this soil, I say either take a handful full or use a scooper, and you can put a little bit in there as well.
I'm a hands-on guy.
And so we'll just kind of mix this up. Now you can mix it up in a separate pot. That's fine, that's enough. And that is what it's looking like down there. It's very low.
Let me see. Kind of give y'all an idea. There you go.
I can bring you mine.
It's actually
as well.
lower than what it is.
Now it's good to have a
What does it look
container
like?
of soil on hand ready to go. Yes, it's always ready to have your soil ready to go, but sometimes we have to mix it up on a whim. But when you already have it ready and prepped, it's helpful. So we're gonna move this to the side for now. Now I want you to, as you can see, we have a little catch pot underneath. I want you to place this in here, in the center. Hold your hand under the leaves so that they kind of stay together. Okay, so do you see how it is? Now, is that too low in the pot for you, or do you think it needs to be pulled up a little bit more?
I think right about there is fine.
You think right here is fine? Okay, so you can move this to the side.
Okay.
And you can put a couple scoops of the this in here in the bag. So
Okay.
that way you can just take it out of the bag. Yeah, so you can get it mixed up. And I'll kind of mix it up for you. Go ahead. Okay. Typically, I don't normally do this. I'll make the batch up, but because I didn't make the batch up prior to this plant, because that soil is a little bit too chunky for this particular plant. So I don't want to make it too chunky to where it's not absorbing any water, if you guys are wondering why I'm doing this. So now it's a little bit more chunkier, as you can see. I don't know if you guys can see. A little less chunky, I should say. So now you want to take that and you want to fill in the pot around.
Okay, you want to turn it around a little bit? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Now turn it around.
Now, if you want to add a little bit more of that to that bag, you can. like that. Go ahead, put the rest of that. That's fine. I'm mixing it up. Okay, and then try to get it around evenly on all sides. Okay, some on this side. Here, let me try to help you a little bit. Put this in here. So you're gonna just fill it in.
So we're gonna put all this out in there, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
pretty much. But you want to put it evenly around all the sides. And try not to get your leaves down in there. Yeah. Okay. And that's good. And because the roots is down in there, I think that's pretty good. You don't really want to fill it to the rim, even though I do sometimes. But you don't want to fill it to the rim because when watering, it will overflow. You want to give the water somewhere to...
So we got it filled up all the way to about this much.
We'll show you in a minute. Let me just arrange these leaves. Then you want to arrange your leaves how you want them to look. And see if that's how you envisioned it. Okay. So what you think? What
Just
did she
push
do?
the saw down. Yeah.
So let's see. You can have the size of your planter like that to make sure everything's down up in there the right way. And because the soil was already wet, I'm not going to water it, but typically if it wasn't wet and you were using dry soil, you would want to water it thoroughly until you see water coming from the bottom. And do not let it sit in the water. The water that comes out of the bottom, you want to trash that because you don't want it to get root rot from sitting in too much water. So what do you guys think? How does she look? Looking good, looking good. So, how was that experience, Charles?
Yeah. I think I learned fast as far as that, so.
So
yeah.
you think you can handle a repot by yourself without me around, or you still needed a little more practice?
I think I could actually take if it was a matter of just transferring it out and doing that and maybe propagating. Yeah, I think you showed me pretty good
So
how to
you
be able to cut in between.
okay? So now that'll sit in a bright place, which is right behind us. I'll put that there. In its home, and she should do good. And we don't have to water that until she's completely dry. And we'll wait on that. And these are the cuttings. You want to sit these in a indirect bright location as well. So I'm going to set that over here.
She said, can I do one by myself now?
Okay. We might have to readjust the camera a little bit because I might have him cut my pothos and joy. And we can actually put the cuttings in here.
So you just want to take a piece and...
Yeah, I'll take a cutting from it and I'll let you go ahead and chop. And you're going to show me exactly where to cut and all that so that I know that you have it down pat.
Okay.
I'm just trying to clean my mess a little bit, guys. Okay. So, with each cutting, you want to, with each plant, I should say, you're going to sterilize your shears again. So because we're going to cut on another.
She said, can you move from the window or close the blinds?
Oh, the blinds are closed. Let me see if I can turn off the lights. Maybe that's what's Let me know if this looks a little better with me turning the light down. Better?
Okay. So how is that?
How does that look?
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay,
Better.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
We want you guys to be able to see what we're doing here.
Right.
Okay, so like I just mentioned, you're going to sterilize your shears again with the next set of plants. What you're going to use is the alcohol. Now this plant is really big. I can't get it in the frame, but it's sitting over here, my Enjoy. I'm going to have him take some cuttings from that as well.
She said the one by me.
The one by Charles? Which one? Do you know the name of the plant that you're talking about? I want to start him with beginner plants. That way he can get the hang of it. Oh, the light. I don't know. Maybe that light is what she's talking about.
Would it be this light?
That big one, just turn that one on.
That one didn't make much of a difference.
I
Or
think
is it
that's
this one?
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll try to get our lighting better on the next live. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the cutting. And this is an Enjoy cutting. So you want to do node cuttings with this one as well.
Okay.
So you see where these nodes are? They're in between, so just cut in between.
Okay.
Kind of do it like in the center to
Okay.
give each cutting enough stem
Okay.
to be left behind. So you can start in between these two.
Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta show y'all first. This is what she wants me to cut. In between those,
And that plant is called the Pothos Enjoy.
these.
Okay, so cut in the center. Be careful not to cut these parts. Yeah. Okay. Good job. And as you cut them, I'm going to stick them in the water. So how do you feel so far? Do you feel
I feel comfortable.
okay? For any significant others, plant dads by default, what advice would you give them when it comes to helping your significant other with their plants? And what made you want to actually start helping me out?
I just figure like this, you have a lot of plants, and it don't make no sense for me not to know how to be able to do it, considering that your situation is growing and everything. I want to be able to communicate with you guys with the jargon that you guys use and knowing how to be able to do different things for different reasons.
So
But,
this one you want to cut in between there. Separate those.
You may need me to take care of them while you're at work or something.
Right. And because this is my passion, you know, and this is something that I do all the time,
Right.
you know, it's kind of fun to have someone help you along the way and not just watch you do it, right?
Right.
Okay. So does anybody in the comments have any questions? So we have to cut in between. Yes, you have to cut in between each node. You don't want to cut off the node because that's where the root is going to come from. If you want to take this closer to the screen, you can kind of show them the nodes that are sticking from the stem. That is where the new roots are going to produce. Now you don't have to do single cuttings, single leaf cuttings. You can cut off more than one and have it already trailing if you like. But I like to do single nodes, that way I can make a bushy plant in the end and they all trail at the same time.
How long does it take to root?
It takes me typically about, I want to say 2 weeks at least. You may see roots before then, but I say give it 2 weeks to see some actual roots. Depending on what plant it is, some may root faster than others, depending on what rooting method you're using. Today we're just using the water method, and there you have it.
Well, all right.
And we can take a few more cuttings of the Enjoy because it is straggling, and I would like to.
Fill it in.
Yeah, and I'll let you go ahead and cut it down.
Do you add anything to the water?
Now you can. I typically add Super Thrive to the water, but because I don't have any Super Thrive today, no, I did not. And it will still root without the Super Thrive. But Super Thrive just kind of gives it a little bit more nutrients, I guess, and a better chance to root. But I've never had any issues with rooting without Super Thrive. So, do you want to go ahead and cut it down again, or would you like me to?
I can do.
Okay. Now be careful.
I got you.
Do you need to change the water at all? Yes, you will need to change the water. Once you see your water getting a little cloudy and dirty, some people's water may turn green, and that's just algae from the sun being in the clear container. But yes, you want to change it to have clean water. Sometimes I just leave a little bit of the old water in there because all the juices, I can't really explain it, the terminology of it, and I'll just top it off, and that's okay too. But if the water is too dirty, yes, you want to start with fresh water. Okay, so this is going to turn into maybe 2 or maybe 3 full pots, depending on how full you want your plant to be, is how many cuttings you will add to that pot. But once these root, we will go live again and show you guys what we decide to do with them. And this is another fun way to save money as well. This is another fun way to save money, because I know we don't like to spend money on plants all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can create more plants out of what you already have at home. So I'm just trying to fit them all in the same pot here. If you want to help me, kind of just find a space and put them in here. That way we don't have to have too many containers. And this is why I say kind of, this isn't too bad, but because we're trying to make a little room, I would just cut off a little bit just to make it fit a little better in there. Now, because these are just pothos plants, you don't really have to too much worry about them callousing over, but with certain plants, you would worry about that. you would just let it sit out for like an hour, sometimes a day, overnight, and let the cutting area callus over to where it's like dry, and then add it to the water. But because these are pothos and philodendron, and what type of philodendron it is, I don't worry about that. And they should be fine. We got a few more to add. Yeah, this is gonna be nice and full.
You know, Janine, this is actually my first time actually doing as much as I'm doing as far as doing this. I always let Krista do all this.
He tries to help with the watering. If he sees plants dry or something, he'll go ahead and water them, but that's about it. So this is kind of fun getting him.
And maybe even pick the leaves off.
Yeah, if he see like a brown leaf or something, he may take some of those off. But other than that, no. So it's kind of fun having you help me. Okay, and go ahead and add that last one.
Okay, there you go. That thing full now. Okay.
Yes, he did do well. And that is what the outcome is if you want to take a look. And it is okay to root different types of plants in the same container. And I don't know if you guys heard that sometimes putting pothos in with your other cuttings kind of helps them root a little bit better. I don't know why, but it's been said. And I find it to be kind of true. So, yes, it is okay to root your pothos with other plants. And this is what we have. And in 2 weeks' time, we will come back and show you if they're ready to be potted up or if we should let them go a little bit longer or what have you. Do anybody have any questions?
Well, I don't.
And then, of course, we just clean our mess. We'll sit this in a bright location as well.
Thank you again for joining, you guys. If you haven't already, please hit the like button.
Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already.
Which one do we do? Put these in
Trash.
the
And those are just trash because we cannot propagate those anymore because the node is gone. In the area. And of course you want to clean your space, clean your shears, clean all your utensils, and that is it. That is it for today's live, where I get to show Charles how to take care of a plant from bringing it home from the store. Their hormones are strong. Whose hormones?
Whose hormones are strong?
So, this is a new series that we're going to be starting here on the channel, where I show Charles how to do planty things and how to care for the plants that we have in our collection. I would like for you all to join me on those lives so we can get some tips from you all, or you can learn some tips from us.
And this has been a test run for us, so thank you for giving us an idea of what to do with our lighting too. So
Yes, hopefully next time we get our lighting under control. Okay, the hormones from the pothos. Yes,
okay.
yes, she is correct. The hormones from the pothos tend to help other plants root.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So,
You taught
Yeah.
me something.
yes, see, we can all learn from each other here. Is there anything that you guys would like to know or any questions before we go ahead and wrap it up until our next live? I will keep you guys posted on when our next live will be. I want to kind of set a set schedule, but it may just be random. But I will give you guys a heads up when that is going to happen. So, any questions? So Charles, how did you feel about? Let's show them. Give them one last look of your repotted plants
Oh, okay.
before we head out.
Okay, this is my repotted plant. This is my work that I did today. It's the work I did today. Okay. And then
And then these are the 2 set of cuttings that he had today. That is the what? What plant is that? You got to work on the names. That is
the Mica
you're close. Philodendron
philodendron.
micans.
Philodendron micans.
Yes. And then what is the name of this plant here? It's in a pothos family. I can give you that hint. A pothos enjoy.
Oh, okay. Now I won't forget it. A pothos enjoy.
And this one is
Philodendron mica.
micans.
Micans.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we will label these so that you can learn what they are. So in the next video, we'll have a label set for you. So when you put your rooted plant together, well, maybe not the next video, but when it's time to pot it up, we'll put a tag on it.
Okay.
So you know what it is. So this is what the outcome is today, guys.
A pothos enjoy.
Yes, pothos, however you want to pronounce it. I say
Pothos.
pothos. Some people say pothos.
A pothos enjoy.
Yes, nice job. You did great.
Okay.
Until next time.
Until next time, you guys.
Bye.